Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. In today's video, we'll be talking about Echeveria Chihuahuaensis. Now the name is very tricky, sounds very difficult to pronounce, but this succulent is very easy to care for. It is a natural species of Echeveria. For a lot of people who are unable to keep the hybrid varieties of Echeveria, then this is one of the Echeveria that you can add in your collection because this is a natural species and tends to be very hardy. Now this is how the pictures of my Echeveria Chihuahuaensis tends to look like. This is during a couple of years of keeping this variety because I absolutely love this variety. So I have quite a few of this variety, and you can see these are the different forms in different seasons, in summers, in monsoons, and during the winters. Now it's a very easy to grow succulent. As I said, it is a natural species. It is from Mexico and it tends to do quite well pretty much in all of the environments. Now talking about the soil requirements remains the same. The soil has to be loose, porous and well draining. Now just because the succulent is very easy to keep, it doesn't mean that you are going to overwater this succulent. Ensure that you water only when the soil is bone dry. Give it a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours, and or you can give indirect bright light. Now only if you tend to give it a good amount of morning direct sunlight, you will be able to see those spikes, those tips will turn really bright red in color. Because of these Echeveria tips, I lost a lot of succulents. Now during the monsoon season, I had put up a plastic sheet, and these edges, these tips of this succulent happened to poke holes into the plastic sheet, due to which a lot of water entered into my succulent pots and a lot of succulents were lost because of this guy. So guys, this is an absolutely beautiful succulent. It tends to go dormant during the winters because it is a variety of Echeveria. Very soon it will get into its growing period, which is the summer season. If you are a person who tends to add fertilizers, do it during the summer season, but do not over fertilize your succulents. Ensure that if you're using a liquid fertilizer, always dilute it in water and then provide it to your succulents. Talking about propagation, you can either do a leaf propagation, or you can do beeheading, or you can even separate the offsets. Usually a lot of Echeverias do not have a very long stem, so ideally you won't be able to do a stem cutting. But in case if your succulent has got a stretch, then definitely you can do a stem cutting. But a leaf propagation tends to work out really well during summers. The leaf propagation, if you're conducting any leaf propagation during the summers, because it's their growing period, the leaves will propagate faster. Now there was another question related to, can we propagate succulents during the dormant season? Absolutely yes. If you take out leaves from a dormant succulent, they will produce pups. The only thing is that it's going to take a slightly longer time, but nevertheless, whether it's dormant, non-dormant, if you have a leaf propagation, it will definitely put out a pup. Now ideally, this variety of succulent does not get affected with mealy bugs, but in case if your succulent is blooming or it has a flower stalk, it usually tends to attract mealybugs and aphids. So if you're a person who does not collect seeds or is not into creating hybrids, and if the bloom stalk or the flowers are of no use to you, it's always better to cut it off. Otherwise, it's going to invite mealybugs and aphids. So you might have also noticed that this particular pot has a slightly different type of soil. Now guys, I am working with something because I have moved to a new place, as you all know. Now this place is an open place and there is a lot of breeze. Now I tend to receive a lot more sunlight compared to what it was earlier, and now of late I have started to notice that my soil tends to dry really fast. So I am working with something. I will keep you guys updated as and when I realize that it is working. What I have started doing is I have started to increase the soil ratio in my succulent potting mix. Usually I used to do 80% aquarium sand and 20% of garden soil. It did work out really well for almost 5 to 6 years, but now that I've moved to a new place, I feel that the soil is drying out really fast. Again, I do not use a top dressing, but what I tend to do is I add 1 inch of regular garden soil, which is a filtered garden soil. I tend to use it on the upper layer of my soil so that it can reduce the rate of evaporation and my succulents can have a quick drink. Again, I am just working with only few pots right now to see if that is making any changes. But however, my old mix, which is 80% of aquarium sand and 20% of garden soil, is also working out really well. But probably I think it's because of right now I am on almost 5th floor, and it's an open terrace, so probably there's a lot of wind, there's a lot of breeze, and the air, what I felt, is much more dry compared to what it was earlier, because earlier I was growing succulents on ground floor. But now, because I have sunlight like from 7 a.m. in the morning until 5 p.m. So there is full blast of sunlight, morning direct sunlight, afternoon direct sunlight, with a lot of wind and a lot of breeze. Plus 98% of my succulent collections are in concrete pots. That again is very porous and tends to absorb moisture. But nevertheless, succulents do love dry soil. They do not like to be sitting in moist, wet soil for a longer period of time. My succulents are absolutely well. They are doing quite good. They are very healthy. But I am just worried about certain varieties of succulents that tend to like slight moisture in the soil, like Echeverias, string of pearls, and other strings. Certain varieties tend to like slight moisture in the soil. Probably for these succulents, I will be making a slightly different mix for my succulents, but I will definitely keep you updated about it. Right now, I am still maintaining 80% of aquarium sand and 20% of garden soil, but I am using 1 inch of garden soil on the upper layer of soil so that it can reduce the rate of evaporation. So I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.